And then we've got Gary Player, who had some things to say this weekend about that victory, and he said he too should be credited with 9 major titles. What were your thoughts on those comments?
So the times that I've gotten to meet Mr. Player over the years, I'll preface this up front. I know him a little bit. I've probably talked to him 10 or 15 times or so over the years at different venues and different settings, and it's always a treat. There's also no one in golf that I meet that's any more competitive than Gary Player. He still relishes getting up early and doing his workouts. He'll still ask you, Michael, if you meet him for the first time, I would wager, Alexa, he'll ask you in the first 2 minutes of the conversation how many sit-ups you've done today. It'll happen, and he'll have done more. I can guarantee it. He thrives off of the competitiveness. He just has that hunger, that fire of a competitive athlete. Still burns, even though it's wrapped into, your grandpa. If you could picture the two, crossing your grandfather with a competitive elite athlete. So, yeah, Gary Player is proud of his records. He's proud of what he accomplished in pro golf. He considers the Senior British Open to be a major championship, which, of course, it is now on the Senior Tour. But when Gary Player won 3 of them in his playing days, it was not yet considered a major. So if you were to count those 3 victories, Player would have 9 majors on the Senior Tour. I happen to agree with him. I don't understand really why, if you're going to make this, and it just feels right as a Senior British Open, that should just be a major, and it is now. So if you go by Gary Player's math, and I do agree with him on this point, he has 9. So Longer and Player are now tied. But it's fun, it's fun to have Gary Player around. It's fun to have these moments and add a little fire to Champions Tour golf.
So, Jeff, I just want to give everyone some advice out there. So for when they meet Gary, when you talk to him and he asks you how many sit-ups you've done, do you tell him the actual amount of, your 500 or 600 daily sit-ups, or do you scale it back a little bit because you don't want to outshine one of the greats?
Alexa, you don't lie to Gary Player. So also, he can sense that. He knows the truth. I always tell him I've done none and wait for the response. But he's very, besides being a champion of golf, he has his causes that he's passionate about, and health and fitness is a big one for him. So that's a key point that he tries to, spread throughout the world of sports and just the world in general, is the importance of staying healthy and fit. So it's a passion project for him, and I would never lie, because you're going to get caught in that lie.